Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to explore something really familiar, something we all do, a trip to the grocery store.
That's right. And we followed along with two people, Alex and Riley, on their recent shopping visit.
We sort of watched their journey through the aisles, what they were looking for, the choices they made.
And some of the little challenges, too.
Exactly. And our goal here in this deep dive is to unpack why they did what they did.
Yeah, to pull out the useful insights from their trip so you can feel a bit more informed, maybe get some ideas for your next shopping trip.
We'll go through it step by step.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start where most trips begin, finding specific things. Alex needed items for baking.
Right. Flour, brown sugar, baking powder, things like that.
And Riley knew they'd need olive oil later on.
And, the common problem they hit right away, not knowing where stuff was.
Happens all the time, doesn't it? Big stores, it can be tricky to find just one thing.
So instead of just wandering around, they used a pretty smart strategy. Simple, really.
They just asked someone who worked there.
Exactly. Went right up to a store employee. It seems obvious, maybe, but it really does save time. Avoids that frustration,
It really does. The employee told them aisle 6 for the baking things.
Near the sugar and all that.
Uh-huh.
And the olive oil, they found out later, was up high on a shelf somewhere else.
So asking really sped things up for them.
Definitely. So, okay, directions in hand, they get to aisle 6, the baking aisle. And this is where they start making some actual food choices.
Yeah, they started talking about flour, different kinds.
They saw all-purpose, self-rising, whole wheat.
And their thought was, well, all-purpose is probably the most versatile, right? Good for lots of different recipes.
Makes sense. And Alex grabbed the brown sugar there, too.
Then, moving on from baking, they started thinking about snacks.
The snack debate. Chips or popcorn? That age-old question.
Chips seemed easier, Just open the bag. But popcorn felt maybe more fun.
But Riley mentioned that microwave popcorn can be tricky. Sometimes it doesn't pop right. Or worse.
Oh, yeah, it burns. That awful smell.
Right. Riley mentioned trying to, stop the microwave just at the right second, but admitted that's not always easy to nail.
No, it isn't. So they looked at chips instead. They compared regular chips and baked chips.
And the package, it said the baked ones had, 30% less fat?
Yeah, which is, noticeable if you're looking for something a bit healthier.
But the big question for them was taste and crispiness. Alex remembered trying baked sour cream ones before.
I thought they were just decent, not quite as crispy as the regular kind.
Which really highlights that common trade-off, doesn't it? Health versus, what you actually enjoy eating.
So their solution was pretty practical. They just bought one bag of each.
The classic ones and the baked ones. Good way to handle it. Try both, see what you like.
They also needed crackers, for cheese and dips.
And they decided on plain ones. Figured they'd work well with pretty much anything. Versatile.
But here's where a store deal kind of changed things.
Ah, the special offers. What was it?
It was a buy two, get one free deal on crackers.
Okay, so that probably felt like a good chance to stock up, right? Even if they didn't originally plan on getting 3 boxes.
Exactly. And it led Riley to say something I think a lot of us feel. This is why I never stick to my shopping list.
Yeah. Those deals can really pull you off course. Shows how promotions influence what we end up buying.
Definitely. Okay, so from packaged stuff, they moved over to the produce section. Fresh fruits, vegetables.
Right. First up, bananas. Alex apparently likes them slightly green.
Yeah, the reason being they'll last longer at home that way. Before they get too ripe, Planning ahead for the week.
Smart. Then tomatoes. They had a tip for picking good ones.
They did. Look for ones that feel firm, but have just a little bit of give when you press gently.
And they mentioned the smell, too. A fresh tomato should smell, fresh. Riley found one that seemed good.
Avocados next. Always a bit of a challenge, avocados.
Yeah.
Alex found one that was super hard.
Yeah, they're tricky. Hard as rocks or, completely mushy. Riley took a moment, checked a few.
And found one that felt just right. Soft, but not squishy.
Exactly. It's a reminder that some items just need a bit more hands-on checking than others.
Then apples. They talked about Honeycrisp being a favorite. Sweet, crisp.
But they noticed Honeycrisp were pricier than Gala apples, which were right there too.
Yeah, but Riley kind of convinced Alex that paying a little extra was worth it for the quality they really liked.
Which shows how sometimes, personal preference wins out over the cost factor.
For vegetables, they were thinking about roasting carrots. They saw bagged ones and loose ones.
Bagged are convenient, right, pre-washed. But they thought the loose ones might be maybe fresher.
So they went with the loose ones, chose freshness over convenience that time.
But then for spinach, which they needed for smoothies, they saw fresh bundles and pre-washed bags.
And this time.
This time they grabbed the pre-washed bags to save time at home.
So that choice between convenience and freshness, it can really depend on the vegetable and how you plan to use it.
Makes sense. Oh, and right at the end of the produce section, they spotted strawberries.
They looked really fresh, apparently, and they were on sale.
2 for $6. That sounded like a really good deal to them. A steal, I think they called it.
So even though it wasn't planned, they grabbed some strawberries, another sale influencing the shopping cart.
Happens all the time.
Okay, let's move on to some more specific needs they had, starting with gluten-free options.
Right. Alex was shopping for someone named Claire who needed gluten-free pasta.
And they saw two main kinds, rice pasta and chickpea pasta.
They pointed out that chickpea pasta is usually higher in protein, a different kind of benefit than rice pasta.
And since Alex wasn't sure which one Claire would prefer,
They just bought one package of each, let her try both at home. Very practical way to find out.
they also looked at gluten-free bread, noticed it was pretty expensive compared to regular bread.
Yeah, and they checked the ingredients, saw things like almond flour, no preservatives. Reading labels helps, especially with dietary needs.
Definitely. Next stop was the dairy section, which also includes, alternatives like almond milk.
Riley was thinking about trying almond milk more. They talked about using it. Good in smoothies.
But maybe not always great in hot coffee. It doesn't always mix well.
Right. But Riley decided to give it another try anyway, maybe for other things.
For regular milk, they liked 2% milk, said whole milk was too heavy.
And here's where checking dates became really crucial.
Oh, yeah. They picked up a carton, looked at the date.
And it expired in just 3 days. Way too soon.
So they used that great trick. Look at the cartons at the back of the shelf.
Right. Stores often put the freshest ones, the ones with later dates, behind the older stock.
And by reaching back, they found one that was good for 2 whole weeks. Big difference.
That's such a good tip. Really helps get the freshest milk possible.
Then eggs. They carefully checked the carton for cracks before putting it in the cart.
A simple step, but avoids getting home with broken eggs, and they check the date too good till next month.
Yogurt next. They wanted plain yogurt, planning to add their own fruit or honey.
They saw one brand on sale, but wait. The expiration date was only 4 days away,
So they compared it to another brand right next to it. Cost a bit more.
but the date was 2 weeks out. Much better.
And they decided, sometimes it's worth paying a little extra for something that will stay fresh longer. Less waste that way.
Makes sense. They also got butter, talked about salted versus unsalted.
And decided unsalted is generally better for baking, right? Gives you control over the salt.
Yep. Check the date, check the brand they liked.
And cheese, needed sharp cheddar, check the date again.
Noting that cheese blocks can sometimes sit there for a while. The one they got was fine for months. Checking dates is it's important for so many things.
So true. Okay, moving towards the end of the trip, frozen foods section. And here they hit a snag.
The out-of-stock problem happens all the time.
Alex was looking for a specific frozen pizza, margarita style.
But nope, none left. Shelf was empty.
So they asked an employee about it. Good move.
Yeah, the employee said it was super popular and they expected more tomorrow morning. Probably on the shelf by noon.
See? Asking gets you useful info. Good to know.
But Alex didn't want to wait. So they picked a different pizza instead. Chose a 4-cheese one over a veggie option.
And Riley was looking for frozen dumplings. Their favorite shrimp ones were out too.
This time, instead of asking, they just decided to try something else. Grab chicken dumplings.
So 2 different ways to handle it when something's out. Ask or just be flexible and grab a substitute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, and frozen berries for smoothies were also out on this trip. Bummer.
Bummer indeed. Okay, next up, coupons. Alex had found some online beforehand.
Riley was wondering if coupons, really saved much.
Alex was ready to prove they did. Had one for $2 off laundry detergent.
But the important thing here was checking the fine print, right? The size requirement.
Yes, it had to be 32 ounces or larger. The bottle they picked was 40 ounces, so it worked. Saved $2 right there.
Nice. They also had a buy one, get one free for chips, but only a specific brand.
Found the brand, chose barbecue flavor. That kind of coupon definitely steers you towards certain products.
Then there was another one, $5 off cleaning products if you spent $25 or more.
But Alex did a quick calculation. They only had dish soap and sponges, maybe $10 worth.
Which brought up that interesting point about coupon strategy. Do you buy extra stuff you don't need just to hit the target and get the discount?
They decided no, it wasn't worth spending extra money just to save $5, which seems like a smart way to use coupons. Don't let them make you overspend.
Agreed. The last coupon was easy. $1 off if you bought 2 pints of ice cream.
Easy saving there. They got chocolate and mint chocolate chip. So coupons definitely helped lower the total cost.
They can add up if you're strategic about it.
They also mentioned using reusable bags, trying to cut down on plastic.
Good habit, but admitted it's easy to forget them sometimes. We've all been there.
Haven't we just? Okay, final stages. The service counter, making a return, and then checking out.
At the deli, Alex got sliced turkey breast. Half a pound. Asked for is sliced very thin.
Common request for sandwiches. Riley got cheddar cheese, sliced too, quarter pound. Already thinking about grilled cheese.
Smart. They also grabbed a pre-made Mediterranean salad from the cooler section, small size, and found hummus nearby.
But before paying, Alex had to deal with a return.
Oh, right. The cereal incident. They'd bought cereal last week.
Opened it at home and discovered it was expired, already past its date.
Oof. Good reminder to double-check dates, even after you buy things, or when you open them.
So to return it, Alex needed the receipt, usually essential for returns.
The store took it back, no problem. Offered a refund or an exchange.
Alex chose to exchange it for a new box.
And here's another key step.
Yeah.
Alex checked the date on the new box right there, just to make sure it wasn't expired too. Smart thinking.
Very smart. Okay, finally, time to pay. Choice. Self-checkout or regular lane with a cashier.
They went with the regular checkout lane.
And the reason.
Coupons. They had several and wanted to make sure they all scanned properly. Said they didn't want to, quote, deal with errors that can sometimes pop up with coupons at self-checkout.
Fair enough. So they handed over the items, handed over the coupons. Notice their total before coupons was $48.50.
And after the cashier scanned everything, coupons included.
The total dropped to $42.50.
So hey, those coupons saved them $6. Not bad at all.
Not bad. Paid with a card. And even after saving money, their last thought was still wondering.
Wondering if self-checkout would have handled all those coupons okay. It's a valid question many shoppers probably have.
It really is. That balance between the speed at self-checkout and maybe more reliability with a person, especially with discounts.
Exactly.
So that was Alex and Riley's trip. We followed them finding things, making choices, baking goods, produce, snacks.
Dealing with stuff being out of stock, handling that expired cereal, using coupons effectively.
And navigating the checkout.
And we've pulled out some key takeaways from watching them. Things like, well, asking for help is actually really efficient.
Checking the back of the shelf for fresher dates, especially on milk.
Checking those expiration dates carefully on lots of different things.
How deals can influence you, and being smart about which ones you actually take.
Checking produce like avocados, checking eggs for cracks. Those little inspection steps.
And thinking through how coupons work best at checkout can definitely save you some money.
These are all, practical things you can maybe think about, maybe try on your next grocery run.
Could make it a bit smoother, save some time, maybe save a few dollars too.
So, thinking about everything Alex and Riley did, all those small decisions, here's something for you to consider.
What's just one small thing, one idea or strategy from their experience that you could perhaps change about your own shopping habits next time? That might make a noticeable difference for you.